What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about one thing the Atlanta Falcons must do in 2023 to have a winning season. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about one thing this Atlanta Falcons team must do in 2023 to have a winning season. Most recently, I've been checking out the Netflix series Quarterbacks, which I do advise you go check out. I'm about 3 or 4 episodes into the docuseries, and basically they follow and go behind the scenes with quarterbacks Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. And it's a very interesting docuseries. As I was watching the Netflix series, one resounding thing stood out to me for our Atlanta Falcons last season as they went behind the scenes with Marcus Mariota, and they kind of go through the highs and lows of each player's season. And the one resounding thing that stood out to me, and the thing that I believe the Atlanta Falcons must avoid this season for us to possibly be a playoff team and for us to have a winning season in 2023, is turnovers. Last year, we played a lot of close games. We went 7-10, and we had an opportunity to win our division. We had an opportunity to make the playoffs. But just watching this docuseries, it kind of shows the one resounding thing that stood out to me was we turned the ball over way too much last season, and that's what cost us a lot of football games. Whether it was Marcus Mariota in week 1 against the New Orleans Saints fumbling the football multiple times, whether it was Marcus Mariota at the end of the game in week 2 throwing an interception at the end of the game to Jalen Ramsey, whether it was Taquan Graham in the game against the Chargers where he picks up a fumble when the game is tied and then the ball is punched out, or he loses the ball and fumbles the ball. I mean, it was just numerous plays last year, whether it was at the end of the game where there was crucial turnovers, at the end of the game against the Washington Commanders where the ball gets batted, Cordell Patterson's open on the goal line, Marcus Mariota makes a good pass, but the ball gets tipped by Daron Payne and intercepted in the end zone. It seemed like last year the ball just didn't bounce in our favor. But this year, if the Atlanta Falcons are going to have a winning season, which I believe we will be a playoff team, I do believe that we'll have a better season than we had last year. But the one thing that stood out to me is we have to cut down on the turnovers. If you watch any football, whether it's pee-wee, whether it's college football, whether it's pro level football, usually one of the main things and fundamentals of the game that all coaches talk about is you can't lose the turnover battle. You can't give the ball away. And that's what kind of happened with us last season is we had games where we put teams on short fields because of our turnovers. We had crucial turnovers at the wrong time during the game. And if you're going to win a lot of football games, if you're going to be a playoff team, if you're going to be a Super Bowl contender, you can't lose the turnover battle. You can't lose the turnover margin. And last year we didn't do a good job in certain instances of protecting the football. And I definitely think after watching this docuseries and after thinking about last season, about the games that we lost, for the most part, other than that Tampa Bay game where Grady Jarrett was basically robbed on a sack against Tom Brady, for the most part, a lot of the games that we lost came down to the end of the game where the ball was turned over, where we turned the ball over and we put teams on short field. So we gave teams opportunities to beat us. So this season, that's going to be one of the main things that I'm going to focus on when watching a lot of our games is if we're able to win the turnover battle, if we're able to protect the football. Usually the team that wins the turnover battle usually wins the game. Usually the team that wins in the trenches wins the game. But you definitely can't allow, the other team or your opposing team to win the turnover battle. If you lose the turnover battle, usually the team that wins that turnover battle ends up winning the game. So that's definitely something that stood out to me with checking out the docuseries Quarterbacks. I definitely would recommend it. It's definitely been very interesting checking out this series. I believe it's about 8 episodes, and I'm like at episode 4. But just checking it out, that's one of the things that really has stood out to me is that our Falcons had a lot of opportunities last season that we didn't capitalize on. And in crucial situations, we turn the football over. And that's one of the fundamentals, one of the first things that coaches talk about in training camp as we get ready for training camp. They talk about make the other team beat you, and you don't, give the game away by you giving the ball, turning the ball over and giving teams, short fields, you giving teams field position. And that's something that really stood out to me last season. That's something that I do think that Desmond Ridder possibly may be able to do a little bit better than Marcus Mariota last year. Once Desmond Ridder did take over the last 4 games of the season, he didn't throw any interceptions, and he did a pretty good job of not turning the ball over. And I really think that that was one of the main issues that we had just as a team, as a whole, was the turnovers. It seemed like when they came in bunches, and they came at the wrong times of the game. When the game was on the line, we end up turning the ball over, and usually that put other teams in position to beat us. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of the video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed, peace.